More than 2.5 million houses in the United States have been repossessed by banks since the economic crisis struck the country. But the impact isn't only financial. Many forced out of their homes are taking drastic measures, some even choosing to take their own lives when faced with eviction. RT's Madina Kochenova reports.
Dozens of police and SWAT teams swarming on this small central Californian town. Not what you'd expect for what was supposed to be a routine foreclosure.
At this point, we believe the suspect is barricaded inside of the apartment complex. We don't know anything about him. We don't know what the motive is behind this shooting. All we know is that we have 2 people dead.
Apparently, 45-year-old Jim Richard Ferrario had his motives. He was losing his condominium because of a $15,000 home equity loan he could no longer afford to pay. The condo was sold at an auction for a knockdown price, and Ferrario was handed an eviction notice. It proved to be the last straw for the former security guard, who barricaded himself inside his home and refused to walk out alive. And worryingly, such an extreme act hasn't been an isolated incident in this area.
Public safety as a whole has been affected by the economy, just like everybody else. There isn't anybody in the community that hasn't been affected by this economy.
Last year, the town's foreclosure rate was the 3rd highest in the country, with 1 in every 19 properties repossessed by the banks. The entire region is ravaged by unemployment and budget cuts. And it's a story being repeated nationwide with equally bloody consequences. In Phoenix, a man opened fire on police when he refused to leave his house. In Ohio, an old married couple killed themselves when faced with eviction, while in Florida, a man was gunned down by police after he set his recently foreclosed townhouse on fire. These death by foreclosure killings have been going on quietly around the country ever since the financial crisis threatened to pull the rug from those only surviving on credit.
I think people get desperate and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel that, it's okay if I lose my home and I move somewhere that I can afford and I can rent. And I just think we really get attached to home and are very reluctant to give it up, and I think it brings on desperation when you lose that.
With no sign of any recovery in California's economy and stubborn unemployment, it means the body count looks set to only grow in the months ahead. Experts forecast a huge surge in home foreclosures this year. While the threat of a shadow inventory of soon-to-be foreclosed homes continues to haunt housing markets, there is a question: how many more depressed people forced from their own homes and with nowhere else to go are pushed to the very edge, determined to do anything it takes to stand by their property till the bitter end. Madina Kochenova, RT, reporting from California.